My best friend became a monster. He is still like a brother to me. I met my best friend, let's call him John, 6 years ago. From the first look I realized that he was unique, in both good and bad ways. He was a very extroverted and fun-loving person, loved animals and was always there to help his friends. But John's character wasn't always like that. Most of the time John was peaceful, but over time it became apparent that he also had another side. John gradually began to get louder. When situations and conflicts became too difficult for him, he often started shouting and threatening people. At first it was only through words, his voice and his expression. He gradually developed an evil aura, which, combined with his height of almost 6 feet 7, seemed threatening to many. But we didn't see it. My group of friends and I still got on extremely well with John, even after some minor conflicts. He and I in particular were inseparable, we never argued. But our group broke up because of John and the monster that gradually emerged from him. John had a difficult childhood, his parents separated early and he grew up with his mother. After a short time, his mother's new boyfriend began to abuse John, both mentally and physically. He was often not allowed to leave his room for hours and days without having to reckon with dire consequences. Plagued by his relationship with his mother and her boyfriend, John moved in with his father. His life improved there, but John refused to talk to anyone and refused to open up. To forget his past, he drank alcohol and smoked a lot of weed, which in the long run drove the real, good John away. Our circle of friends completely fell apart when John thought that everyone but me was betraying him. John got himself a gun and threatened a friend to get some supposed information. At this time, he developed schizophrenia, which he himself did not recognize. John was admitted to a psychiatric ward several times over the next few years, came out again, got better, got worse. Nevertheless, I stayed with him, he was my brother. John tried to get better and first tried to catch up on his degree, but he didn't manage it and decided to work in a large company for the time being. He tried to do better, day after day. But each time he fell back into his illness. His best days were the best he ever experienced. His bad ones were the ones where he waited on the railroad tracks until the train arrives. When I got a call at the beginning of the year and learned that John had killed 2 of his relatives, I was shocked. John often made jokes and hints about murder to me and others. However, his doctors advised against calling the police and saw his behavior as normal for his illness. The fact that his illness has now completely displaced the real person, my best friend, feels like a made-up story. Is this real? Shortly after the crime, I kept in touch with his family and, as the only friend John had left, tried to help them. His trial is still ongoing and it is being decided whether he will spend the rest of his life in a psychiatric ward. And even today I still stand by John, but not by the monster he has become. And if there is a 1% chance that he will get better one day, then I will be there for him.